So let me introduce Mr. Ron Price, who is Chief Learning Officer, Yukon Learning, USA. And Ron is here in India to kickstart Articulate Certified Training here in partnership with Stratbeans Consulting. So we also have Mr. Samir, who is Managing Director, Stratbeans Consulting, and Mr. Prasool, who is Vice President Technology for Stratbeans Consulting. So Ron, we would like to understand from you, how has Articulate Certification Training helped the e-learning professionals?
That's a great question. Articulate makes a really good software. It's very easy to use, but there are so many, gaps when people are teaching themselves that there are many times the training environment helps fill in those gaps. So sometimes people learn it on their own and they learn a way of doing it. But one of the powerful parts of the tool, Storyline, is that there's so many ways. And so training kind of helps open the different avenues of how you might want to try to solve other problems. Because you might have one solution that works for 50% of your problems, but then you're stuck on that, and once you get something that's beyond that, it might be a little difficult to figure out the other. So one of the things that we've noticed about the training is that it does kind of broaden people's perspective and being able to solve more problems. And the certified partnership just continues to expand the footprint so that more and more people are getting their hands on the solutions. I think that's probably one of the biggest benefits of it.
Oh, excellent. And would you also throw some light on, what are the new, most powerful features of Articulate Storyline?
Yeah, so when Storyline 2 came out, they really enhanced several things. The most obvious is just the user interface and just made things a little bit more modern feel and look, and so people can find what they're looking for. But the key things were some of the most requested elements, and one of the things that we're excited about with our partnership with Articulate is they take feature requests pretty seriously, and most of the things that were added were things people have been asking for. For example, motion. The concept of a motion path is something that a lot of people have used in other tools. It was absent in Storyline 1. Storyline 2 added that, which allows the developers who want to add something that maybe mirrors more of a video or After Effects style of approach. You can add a lot of that to glitz up your presentations. Also, some of the more nuanced triggers, being able to trigger things in certain timing instead of the user triggering those. The slider feature that allows you to adjust a number variable by sliding an object, and it could be really any object. Those have been quite effective because to do those without the built-in features would be a lot of work. You would be adding a lot of triggers, you'd be adding a series of hotspots just to figure out how to do a slider, and that probably wouldn't be best use of your time. So they've just created with Storyline 2, I would think with motion, with some of the nuanced type triggers on timeline and being able to change the state of items on the player with triggers and such. And then the last being the sliders. I think it's just created a lot more opportunity for people to build some highly engaging and dynamic solutions.
Excellent. So I think those were the real nice features you explained. So Samir, I understand that Stratbeans Consulting has partnered with Articulate, and what are your plans in this regard?
That's a very good question, Anand. As you can already see, the Indian e-learning and mobile learning market is a little urbanized, but there is a lot of activity in it. And you can almost see on a daily basis new online or mobile programs being launched by multinational organizations to train their workforce in different ways. So what we want to do with this partnership is essentially three things. First is to create a supply of Articulate's genuine licenses in India, and also the related products which benefit the ecosystem of e-learning and mobile learning creation. The second thing is for the corporates to have a supply of professionals in India who know about how to use these technologies and who can sort of bring out the best. And the third one is that, these all organizations, they are really trying to get an ROI on their product and their launches. So therefore, if there are such professionals who can juice out the products and sort of bring out the best in it, that's what we are trying to bring in Indian ecosystem. So that will create a lot of maturity in the times to come, and you will see the market growing very fast. That's my plan.
That's excellent. And Prasoon, I understand that you're going to lead the launch of Articulate Certified Training. So, can you tell us about your organization's preparedness for the same?
Well, let me first really say that I'm very excited about this training program. And we've done a couple of things to really make this a very successful launch here in India. And there are two aspects to it, Anand. First one is that people who have gone through the training, our trainers, they have gone through the same rigorous training which is certified by Articulate. It is built with, I would say, years and years of experience built into it. So that's the first very important point. The second thing which comes as a unique advantage that we are trying to give to our potential trainees is that our trainers in an interesting way come from different walks of life. For example, there are people who are training and have like more than like so many years of experience in actually building those modules. Then you have people who are from a very technology-centric point of view. So they bring in a lot of different kind of offering to the table. So what I'm very excited about is that the kind of bank of trainers we have has got a lot of variety in it, and with that, to the end user, we'll be able to transfer all the value. That's what I hope. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. So Ron, I would like to ask you, what level one can reach if they participate in this 3-day training program?
Yeah, another good question. What we do when we teach, and Prasoon can verify this as well, is we teach some building blocks. And the way it's designed is if you understand those, really there's not really a ceiling to your level as far as what you can reach. Once you understand how the tool is designed and what it was designed to do, a lot of people say your imagination is your only limitation when it comes to storyline, and that's not just a marketing term. That's pretty accurate. Most of the time, if you can think about it, if you can envision it, using the simple building blocks of storyline without having to know any kind of coding or any kind of technical expertise, really that might be only available to a few people. You can put that power in anybody's hands. So someone who, as was indicated, can come from any kind of background and quickly get to the place where they can build pretty dynamic learning that's engaging, that's high level, that's meeting the needs of the learner, that could feature anything from mouse over effects to drag and drop to highly effective assessments to gather evidence for learning. And there are very few things that we've had people ask that we haven't been able to figure out how to do in storyline. And I think that's the power of the tool, because once someone's been trained in those 3 days, really, if they take all 3 days of training, they actually have the pieces to do just about anything they might want to do. It might require some practice, maybe some practical use case for it, but there's really not much you can't figure out. And with the resources that Stratbeans will be providing, that the Articulate community itself provides, there's always answers out there too for those things you can't figure out on your own.
I think it's very nice to understand that almost people from any background can use the software. Another thing what we would like to know is what's one most frequently asked question in your training program?
Well, the trainings that I conduct, usually they want to know about my hair, how I do it. We get a variety of questions. Most of them are really around how do I get started. You know, once they've gotten the training going, you know, what's next and what to do. And so we just tell people, you know, build something. Go back to the practice files, do something to get building. But the biggest mistake you could make would be to not use the tool after you've been trained, because like anything, a language you've learned, if you don't use it, you lose it. And that's the same thing with Storyline. The quicker you can get into building something. So we do have a lot of people going, you know, how do I get started and what resources are available to me. And one of the things we try to give in our training is a lot of takeaway folders, so we can reference those and tell them, you know, here's some sample courses you can take apart and play with. Here are a lot of resources at your disposal so you can get your hands on it. But a lot of people are, you know, hopefully by the end of our training, we've answered most of their questions. But a lot of them are now just ready, and so they really want to know what's next. How do I get going? And then if I hit a stumbling block, who can I call? And that's one of the benefits of being a part of this partnership is, you know, we really do. We're not under any illusion that 3 days of training is as good as it may be, as easy as a tool may be, that in 3 days you can learn everything, and there may be gaps. So we try to make sure people are equipped to know how to get their answers, and that it's a partnership moving forward, that we haven't trained you and then say goodbye. It's you can reach out and get the help that you need, and so we try to ensure them that they're not alone in that process. But that's probably the most popular question, is just kind of how do I get started? What's the next step from here? What if I don't have any content yet? You know, I want to keep my skills fresh. But then there are other the other non-software related questions, like how do I work better with subject matter experts? You know, what do I do? And those are kind of nuanced, that they're harder to answer. But we're hoping that the training itself has answered a lot of the questions that we provide.
Thank you, Ron,
Yeah. Thank
for
you.
all the information.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks, Priscilla.